Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. Yes, I'm the Goose. Glad to have you back. And if it's your first time watching, welcome. Hope you enjoy the show. Got many more to come. And of course, what we're doing this week and the next week or two will be previewing and reviewing the Manny Pacquiao-Keith Thurman fight. But before we get going, gotta have my medicine. You know what that is. My coffee, very strong like my opinion. But got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. Okay. Big fight. I'm so excited. And, I'll be honest with you, even the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight notwithstanding, I think this fight has people more excited than I've seen in quite a while. It's for the World Welterweight title. They each hold a part of the title, if you will. It'll be held July 20th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, where a lot of great fights, great Pacquiao fights have already taken place. It's on pay-per-view on Fox. And if you've watched Pacquiao fights in the past, you know it's well worth the money. If you haven't, believe me, get some friends together, chip in a couple of bucks a piece. It's worth it. It's a great show. Now, Pacquiao, of course, is used to this. He's been doing this for many, many years. Pay-per-view almost every fight for the last, 15 years or so. For Thurman, it's the first time, even though he is a champion. So we'll see how they respond to the pressure. What can we expect? This is not, we've said it before, we'll say it again. It's not a dance. It's not ballet. We're not out there, or they're not out there just to look pretty. It's a fight. And when you fight Manny Pacquiao, then the record will back me up on this. It's very painful. Whether he wins, which he does almost every time, or he loses, it's very painful. Pacquiao has sent many fighters to the hospital. Even those who were not knocked out had to go get checked out. I mean, he's a hard puncher, and he comes at you punches and bunches. And even though he's almost 41 years old, he's still got it. If you've seen the videos of him working the bag or even sparring. They don't show much sparring, though. They want to keep that a little hush-hush. He's still got it. He's still the Pac-Man. So, at any rate, it's going to be very, or it has been. I don't want to get ahead of myself. It has been very, very painful for many fighters. I'll give you just a few examples. The first one I remember is David Diaz. Now, here's one of the great Mexican warriors that Pacquiao has fought. And he beat him down badly and sent him to the canvas face first, beat him up bad. And you look at David Diaz's face afterward, or actually during the fight, you got to feel bad for the guy. He's getting a shellacking. So there's the first example. Then, of course, the Oscar De La Hoya fight. Even though Pacquiao had been a champion for years, that was kind of his coming out party at the MGM Grand. And he made De La Hoya retire. And you look at De La Hoya's face, again, he had to go to the hospital. He was in bad straits, and he had to give up. That may have been, even though he had lost a few times before that, I think that's the first time De La Hoya had ever given up on the stool. He wanted no more of that. And it didn't end there, even after the De La Hoya fight. And, of course, people before that fight said, De La Hoya will kill him. Don't let Pacquiao fight De La Hoya. He'll get embarrassed. Well, it was De La Hoya that got embarrassed. The next fight was Miguel Cotto, and it was more of the same. People saying, well, De La Hoya, he's a brawler. He's got lots of boxing skills, but he's a heavy puncher, another Hall of Famer. Pacquiao better look out. Well, it was Miguel Cotto who had to look out. He got dropped twice in the first few rounds and ended up getting on his horse and running for his life, and that ended up being a TKO. And you look at Miguel Cotto's face, it was ugly. And it went on from there. The Antonio Margarito fight. Here again, we heard it again. We've heard this many times. Oh, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's tougher. Pacquiao will get killed. Well, you saw what happened. Pacquiao broke an eye socket bone on Margarito, and it was not a KO, but he should have quit, and he went to the hospital. So you can see, looking at his face, you can feel nothing but But pity for the poor man. Even though he was bigger, Pacquiao beat him down. And it went on even there. I'll just give a couple more examples. Brandon Rios, Pacquiao's first, I believe, the comeback fight since the Marquez knockout. He beat him badly too. And look at Brandon Rios' face. He was, it was ugly, and he cried. He felt so bad afterward. Now, again, it's not just the knockouts where Pacquiao's opponents went to the hospital. It was even the points decisions that many of them went to get checked out. And you know how tough, how much of a fighter, how fearsome Pacquiao is? Even a couple of his losses, you look at his opponents' faces, and it was ugly. And I still don't count this as a loss. I don't want to make excuses. Boxing is corrupt, okay? But the Jeff Horn fight, we all know who really won that fight. Just look at his face. Jeff Horn looked like he got hit by a truck. And he went to the hospital even though he won. And a final example, and again, a great example of how tough Pacquiao is. After the Marquez knockout, look at Marquez's face. He looked like he lost. He had a broken nose, bloodied, bruised. He won, but it was a heavy price to pay. But there's another Hall of Famer in Juan Manuel Marquez. So, it's extremely painful when you step into the ring with Pacquiao. It's not pretty. Well, it's pretty in that Pacquiao is not the brawler who many of his haters say, oh, he's he has no skill. No, he has plenty of skill. He's very skilled. He's learned a lot over the years. He's very experienced, and he cuts you up. And what do they say? Death by 1,000 left hands. Well, it's 1,000 right hands too. He's relentless. He's always coming forward. Even those who are big, bad, tough, bigger than him, knockout artists like Margarito, they were backing up most of the fight. You fight Manny Pacquiao. You want to prove something to the world that you're tough. You're going to stand toe-to-toe with him. This little guy, this little 40-year-old guy, good luck. You're asking for trouble, and you're going to get it if you stand toe-to-toe with Manny Pacquiao. He's extremely dangerous, even at the age of 40. Now, again, I hate to respond to critics of Pacquiao because most of it's just nonsense. Like, oh, he's doing PEDs, which is absolute BS. Never happened. Never been proven. Never. He's always passed those tests with flying colors. Never a problem with Pacquiao. Another one is, since he's been welterweight, he's really not that scary. He's not a knockout artist. Well, he has knocked out several champions at welterweight, but I agree with you, not as many. The reason? The fighters are bigger. Okay, that's one. They tend to be champions or even future Hall of Famers themselves. That's number two. And number three, they end up running. I'll give you an example. I gave you a few just a minute ago. Once you taste Manny Pacquiao's power, you're going to run. It's survival mode. Now, we saw that with Adrian Broner, his last fight. Now, there's lots of criticism of Broner. He doesn't let his hands go. I know. But don't forget, Broner's maybe a future Hall of Famer himself, a 4-division champion. Broner has all the skill in the world. Has he ever been knocked out? Maybe once. I can't remember. I didn't check that. But Broner's a tough character. He could take a punch. But he ran the whole fight. He knew. And even then, Pacquiao hurt him badly a couple times. So, even if you're a great fighter, even if you're a champion, even if you're bigger, taller, more reach, I dare you to step toe-to-toe with Pacquiao and just go old-fashioned, slug it out, because you're going to come out on the short end of the stick. Now, is that going to be the case against Keith Thurman? Well, we'll see here shortly on July 20th at the MGM Grand. Thurman, I've given him all the credit in the world. I've never disrespected Keith Thurman. He's a champion. He's undefeated. And yeah, he talks a lot of trash, but that's okay. He can back it up. He is a heavy hitter himself. He's a knockout artist. He's knocked out 22 of his 29 opponents. He hasn't lost yet. But will he run against Pacquiao? He might. We've seen him run before. He's a smart fighter. Thurman has a lot of spirit. He has a lot of heart. He's a tough guy, and he has the ring IQ. When he gets hurt, he's going to run. He's going to go into survival mode, but he bounces back. So give him credit for that. He's no coward. We saw that in his last fight against Josesito Lopez. Now, I know we shouldn't judge Thurman on that fight alone because he took a year and a half off because of some injuries. But Lopez hurt him badly in the 7th round. Popped him twice really hard, and he had to run. But he recovered and stood up like the champion he is and won the fight. So, Thurman will run if he has to. But will he run and just keep running? I don't know. We'll see on July 20th as he takes on Manny Pacquiao. We're going to give you... I have to apologize, first of all. What do they say? A apology in advance. I really, really want to get Manny Pacquiao for an interview. It's tough getting that flight. It's just the time of year, I guess. And my wife works for an airline, so she knows. I'll still try my best, but if it doesn't happen, my apologies. We'll keep trying. At any rate, we're going to keep covering this fight. We do research that I don't think anybody else does, and we give you an honest opinion of what we see, what the fighters are all about, and in just a few days, we'll give you a fight preview and a prediction. So stick with me. It'll be fun. Exciting fight coming up on July 20th. That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thank you so much for watching. Many, many thanks to you subscribers. We're over 29,000 now, and it keeps growing. So thank you very, very much. Don't forget, we're on Facebook. Stick with us. Coffee with the Goose.